Latifah, and you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
Latifah, and you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah.
What happened in Ghana, Akwara, in Nigeria, Benin, in South Africa, Salbona, in Senegal, Nangadet, in Kenya, Jambo, in Shalom, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
To get out of bed into the swing of things. Don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with those of your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio. Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure to send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit zeldaspeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness strategy coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments with us today. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned for your next session of mindfulness on Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. Thanks for listening.
Grand Rising, and thank you for rising with me this morning. It is a pleasure to be here. It is Monday, the last Monday of the month, July 31st. Where has July gone already? But I am pretty glad that it's gone because tomorrow is August 1st. And you know, August is the romance month. It's the month of self-love. So we're learning to love ourselves here on the Female Solution. And we hope you'll join us. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. We're just here to help you relieve some of that stress that you have encountered during the course of the weekend, and all the stress that's about to happen today. Let us always say happy Earth Day, birthday, born day. If today's your birthday, if you're celebrating a birthday, we're celebrating it with you because why? We're all alive, and that's enough to be grateful for, right? And also let us say, keep in prayer the sick, the shut-in, the incarcerated, and the non-believers, because when you give up hope, you have nothing. So you have to keep hope. As Reverend Jesse Jackson says, keep hope alive. Today's topic, the chocolate houses that we build. OMG. And the author, educator, filmmaker, phenomenal woman. I'm honored to know her, and I can't wait to have her on. Her name is Okema 7 Gunn, and she will be talking about her dedication to Erica Watson, her former publicist, who passed. Erica is in our intro for the Higher Learning Network TV show, and also is dedicated to her father, who passed in August of last year. So this will be a very special show for her and for us. So be sure and tune in and share this video with someone. If you're listening online, you can join us when she joins us after the 7:30 break. If you're watching us on social media, on our Facebook and YouTube channel, it's Higher Learning TV Show. And be sure and check out our Instagram pages, in which we help the homeless, and that is information that I'll be sharing later in the show. As a matter of fact, I could just pull it up right now. How about that? Many of you know of the work that we do for the homeless, so I just want to share that with you. Why we do what we do, because someone somewhere took care of my little brother when he was homeless, and someone took care of me when I was homeless too. So I know what that feels like, and I just want to be able to share what we've been blessed with. So if you go to our website, higherlearningnetwork.org, you will get a chance to see what you see here. It says Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Well, it's on our Instagram page. And then when I pull up Instagram, of course, it doesn't open up the page. So I have to go to the page that it opened up and then open it up, which is the Instagram page. And if you are lucky enough to be one of the people who can pick up a telephone or turn on your computer, you know, we take those things for granted. There are a lot of people who don't have access to the internet like we do. So that alone is enough to give thanks for. And as you can see here on our Instagram page, it's hln.homeless.project. And this is just some of the work that we do. And you can see last week we were blessed by Queen Mother Sasha Dalton, who sent a donation. And thank you. Please come back here and get some water. Because of her generosity, we were able to give you all Mickey D's thing, cheeseburger and fries. Please take two. You're quite welcome. And tell your other buddies to come on down and get some. Thank you so much. Please come back here and get water too. Get a couple.
Thank you, man.
You are quite welcome. And please tell your buddies, come on down here, get something to eat. I got somebody else coming too. Bless y'all heart. All right. Well, you can see. Get your water, baby. Go ahead. You can see that there's. If y'all see anybody else down there, please tell them to come down. So please go and check it out when you get a chance. That's Instagram.com, hln.homeless.project, and you will see that information there. And when you are able, take them some water. Take them, and you don't have to go to Tent City. Just go where there are people who need help and help them. It's real simple. And be sure and text if you want to join our exclusive club for updates and memberships. You can text Monday Morning Mindfulness to our new number, 312-383-9749 for exclusive updates. Okay, 312 for those on the switchboard who can't hear, 312-383-9749. So just wanted to share that with you. But you can always go to our Instagram page, which is instagram.com, hln.homeless.project. And we're always accepting tax-free donations, so be sure and go there. And while you are there, be sure and check out our new Instagram page. It is for our teens. Be sure and like and subscribe. We had the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest this past weekend, and I will be showing you the winner a little later. But be sure and like on our new channel, like and subscribe on Instagram.com, Teen Talent Contest. So be sure and subscribe there. Alrighty, and you can always post your comments on our YouTube channel. What is our YouTube channel? High Learning TV Show. I just said it. How did I forget it that quick? Okay. Alrighty. Now it is time for our traffic and weather, which is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. If you are a entrepreneur, business owner, and you have products or services to offer and you are paying for them, you are doing yourself a disservice, because you could be using that money for something else, because you could pay with borrowed dollars, and you could very well be doing that, but you're not doing that. So now's the time. You know better, you do better. Okay, just wanted to share that with you. And it's time for your traffic and weather, which is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. As we take a look, there are delays on CTA. On the blue line, there's a delay at Damon Avenue, the door stuck or something like that. So just expect to be delayed this morning. As we take a look at the Kennedy inbound, your typical delays, the interest ramp to the Kennedy, you can expect delays because they're going to be working on it for a long time, I think a couple of years. Inbound on the Kennedy, it is 44 minutes inbound, 22 on the outbound. On the Edens, it's 31 in, 26 out. On the Eisenhower, it's 40 minutes in. There's a crash at the old post office there, so expect delays if you're coming off the Eisenhower. 29 minutes on the reverse. On the Evanston, it's 34 inbound and 21 on the reverse. On the Dan Ryan, it's 19 in, 14 out. On the Bishop Ford, 11 in and 10 out. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, it is 9 minutes in and 8 minutes on the reverse. And that's your traffic and weather sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. If you are a business owner or a entrepreneur, you can buy clothes, you can buy food, you can buy jewelry, you can buy a truck. They've got trucks up there for now. We bought a car, we've taken vacations, we're going to Jamaica, we're going to Ys, and all of that. So you don't have to pay for it. So why pay for it? Join itex.com. Be sure and tell them Karen Zelda sent you. And that is an honor to those who came before me. And that would be Richard McGee, who always, people couldn't pronounce my name when I first started in radio. They would always say Zella. So Richard used to say Zelda. And Richard McGee just had a birthday this past weekend too. So happy heavenly birthday, Richard McGee. Miss you much. Mwah. But we know that you're here with us in spirit. You're helping me with this broadcast this morning, because he was one of my teachers when I was studying radio at Columbia College in Chicago. So that was just so much fun to be able to work with him, to listen to him give us instructions on what to do, and then to actually go in the studio at WGCI. Oh, it was a dream come true. It's like I lived my dream. I lived my best life, and I'm still living my best life because I'm here with you. So it just doesn't get any better than that. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you are one of the people who live in this world, and we know we have a tendency, we are bombarded with commercials all day long. You probably eat a little bit too much. Go to diabeticdonut.com and see if you're a diabetic, and share that information. It's a free download on how to reverse type 2 diabetes. Yeah, I said it. I did it. And if I did it, you can do it too. So just want to share that with you. As we take a look at the message for today, it comes from Mike House. No, it does not come from Mike House today. It comes from Brother Percy. Brother Percy, thank you. It says, "You will seek me, and you will find me, and you will seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and bring you back to the place from which I carried you into exile." And that is from Jeremiah 29:13-14. Okie dokie. And that is your inspiration for the day. And that is not from Mike House, but that from Brother Percy. Thank you, Brother Percy. Brother Percy is the, and so glad to see that you are out of the hospital and doing well. He's the one who helped me to, was it him? Well, we used to go there and get our alkaline water. But anyway, that's something that he shared with us. And I am so very, very, very grateful for that. So thank you, Brother Percy. And thank you for being a part of the Monday Morning Mindfulness meditation, in which we are about to experience. And what is that, Zelda? Why are you doing Monday Morning Mindfulness meditation? Because we live in such a stressed out world. We need time to decompose. And the way that you do that is simply by breathing. You simply breathe out and you simply breathe in. And I know that sounds kind of weird. It's like, well, we already breathing. What are you talking about? Yeah, but chances are you're not breathing fully. So that's why we do Monday Morning Mindful Meditation, so that you can practice it. And you can practice it here with me. And from time to time, you will hear this sound as we're breathing. And that is just the sign to remember to take a long, deep breath. And that's what we do here. So we'll begin by inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhale and blow it out. And when you breathe in, you need to feel your chest expand. If you're not feeling your diaphragm expand, you're not breathing deep enough. And that means you're not getting the full experience of this breathing experience, because that's what it is. And this is a stress release course that I teach for a whole lot of money, and you get it free, but you get a tiny version of it. So let us begin the process just by simply waking the body up, by simply moving those arms, rotating those shoulders backwards and forwards, and giving thanks for the process that we are even able to move, because somebody somewhere is unable to move. They are unable to move. They're laying in a bed. They may be bedridden for for whatever reason. And we pray for their healthy return to be able to walk. Okay, so let us breathe in. Raise those arms up in the air and turn to the side. And if you got a high back chair like I do, simply just move it. Move back and forth. Just twist that body. Give it a little love. Just show it that you love it. Wake it up. Oh, just wake it up and move those shoulders. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Moving with me. And it doesn't matter if we're in sync or not, as long as you're moving. That's all that matters. So just breathe in. Hold it. And blow it out. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, doesn't matter if we're on the same page, as long as you are breathing. That's what's important. As we breathe in, we give thanks for the power of the breath, because we are not on a respirator. We give thanks for the power of the breath, because this is a cleansing exercise to cleanse the mind of worry and frustration and tension, just by breathing, just by sitting and being still and giving thanks for the power of the breath. As we breathe in and hold it and then blow it out. Continue to breathe in and blow it out. We give thanks. We are always at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. And for this alone, with this breath, we are grateful. As we breathe in, hold it, and as we blow it out. Now let us take the energy of that breath and breathe in, bring it up. Inhale. Bring that energy up to the top of the head. Hold it. And as we exhale, feel that breath, blow it out, moving down through the forehead and the face, and the breath lands on the shoulder. Rotate those shoulders backwards and forwards and breathe in. As that chest expands, you hold it, and when you blow it out, you should feel it. Breathe in. And breathe out. As we breathe in, sending more love, light, and energy down through the lungs and the liver and the heart and the spleen and the spine, as we send oxygen throughout the body. An oxygenated body is a good feeling body. As we breathe out, let us breathe in again. And as we breathe out, sending more love, light, and energy down through the back and the buttocks and the hips and the thighs and the knees as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, giving thanks for the power of the knees and therapy. If you need it, my seniors, go get you some therapy. Your insurance pays for it. Whatever part of your body is speaking to you this morning, speak back to it. If it's aching, give it some love. Put it in a bath of Epsom salt and some lavender oil or some hyssop oil or some peppermint oil. Just give it, just love on it like it loves on you. Because every time you get up and move, you can move. So that's a good thing, right? As we breathe in, hold it. Sending more love, light, and energy as we breathe out. Down through the legs, the ankles, the arches, the insteps, the heel. And those toes, feel free to wiggle those toes as we bring that energy back up as we breathe in. Bringing that energy back up through the ankles and the arches and the legs and the knees. Blow it out. So breathe in. Bringing more energy back up through the legs and the hips and the thighs and the buttock and the back. As we rotate from side to side, doesn't matter if we're breathing it together or not, as long as you're breathing. As we breathe in, feeling the energy of that breath move on up through the solar plexus and the arms as we stretch stretch. Just love on everybody. Ooh, just love it on me some Z. Yes, as you love on you some you as we breathe in. And as we breathe out. And just sit with that breath. Love on that breath because you have the power of the breath to do with as you please today. As we breathe in. And as we breathe out. As we breathe in. Sending more love and light back up through the top of the head. And as we breathe out, we give thanks. Take one more long, last, deep inhale deeply. Focusing the breath. And as we exhale, giving thanks for the power of the liver and the lungs and the spleen and the spine and the pancreas and the digestive and elimination systems, we give thanks that they are all in working order. Because I know some of y'all could be a little constipated, but get you some Nopalina, some Nopal, you'll be just fine. Some fiber, just need some fiber. As we inhale, and as we exhale, and just sit with that breath for just a moment. What it feels like to be alive, living, breathing, giving thanks for that which you do have, and not focusing on what you don't have. Because right now we have the power of the breath. And it is the breath that will keep us calm and patient in times of chaos and confusion. As we breathe in, we take a long, last, deep inhale. And as we exhale, bring your head down, chin to chest, and slowly rotate that head to the left. Then around to the back, slowly, slow down. I want you to feel the increments of that stretch. Slowly bring it around to the right and back around to the front. That's why we're sitting up straight, because we don't want you to get a crook in your back or your neck. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, bring your head back down, chin to chest, and slowly rotate that head to the right. Slowly. Just feel that stretch going around to the back and over to the left. And bring it back around. Head up, inhale deeply. And look to the left as far as you possibly can, feeling that stretch. It feels good, doesn't it? And bring the head back around. Inhale deeply. And look to the right as far as you possibly can. Ooh, yeah, that feels good. Leave that there for just a second. Yeah, that feels good. And bring the head back. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And as you take one long, last, deep inhale, giving thanks that we are always at the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing. And we breathe in and we breathe out as part of our Monday morning mindfulness meditation to center ourselves. Because when we breathe slowly, it calms the heart down so that your heart won't be beating so fast, so you'll be calm when chaos comes to you, because it's coming. It's just a matter of time. And you just simply start breathing. Inhale deeply. And exhale, blow it out through your mouth. And if you got a little funk on your breath, if you got to brush your teeth, you got a little garlic, a little onion, be sure and blow it out through your mouth. Inhale. And exhale. And look at them like that. And they'll look at you like you're crazy. But chances are, they'll step back. Because if your breath is funky, they really don't want to smell it. And it will allow you the time to arm yourself, as Dr. Maya Angelou would say, to arm yourself. Before you face the day, face the spirit that is within you. And you do that by honoring it, giving thanks as we breathe in and as we breathe out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just triggered the happiness gene. And that's what this Monday Morning Mindfulness, meditation, breathing is all about. So thank you for having this experience with me as we take one more long, deep, last inhale deeply. And exhale. And the affirmation for today, I am. Two of the most powerful words on the planet. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. And you can put whatever else there you so desire. Because when you speak those two words, I am, and whatever you put after it, that's what you'll experience. And I hope you will share that with someone. And be sure and share my YouTube page too, Zelda Speaks, the number 2 and the letter U. Zelda Speaks to you. And then there's another one, Zelda Speaks, the number 2 and M-E. Zelda Speaks to me. Don't ask me how that happened. It just happened. Okay. All right. So thank you for joining our Monday Morning Mindfulness Meditation. I hope that you enjoy that. And I hope that you will share that, because there's just a whole lot of stress going on in this world, and it just does not have to be. So it is 7:29. It is time for our first commercial break of the day. And you stay close, and we will be right back.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Susan Essentials on the Female Solutions Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and your cells feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Susan. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Oh man, gotta set the Monday sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Have we called to World Peace and Restoration salvation of life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Kim of HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
About finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answer yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to velvetspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's velvetspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit velvetspeaks.com.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you in an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Wednesday, sharing with mindfulness and co-host Thursday with Dr. Debbie Gunn and Friday, Dr. Walden Yaka. Saturday, There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch the Media Connection. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. And other cities, check your local cable business.
Oh man, God sent the Monday sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I get feedback. Ah! Oh, Lord. I am an expert. Well, work with me. Oh.
And individuals access to over 20
Stay.
certified in plant-based nutritional supplements on the planet. They're non-GMO and sustainably produced. And we take the guesswork out for you. Let Tucson Essentials help you take control of your health today.
Okay, I can see you, Seven. Can you see me? No, you cannot, because I don't.
I can see you.
You can?
Yes.
But you can see me, but I can see you, but you. Oh,
yeah, I can see you.
Everything that can go wrong is going wrong this morning.
Oh no!
I got you up on the screen. That they don't need to see me. That's good enough. I don't know what's going on. Okay, here we go. I cleaned my computer off. I don't know why it's dragging. It's Monday morning. What can I say? You know, stuff happens. I do the breathing exercise. I do that to calm me down. Okay, she says the sound is okay now. Lord have mercy. This computer is just. You can see my hands in the air. I'm not touching anything.
I'm here, ding ding.
Yeah, it's just going. Okay, why don't we just start talking? How about that?
Sounds great.
Let me tell you, Lord have mercy. Seven, it is so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me here this morning, and all in the midst of all this madness this morning. And I've just done the breathing exercise to calm myself down because I'm like, what the heck is going on over here? Okay, I can see you. That's good enough. Let me tell the audience just a little bit about you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness, Okema 7 Gunn. She is an award-winning filmmaker, journalist, and educator. She's been an educator over the past 20 years in the Chicagoland area, as well as New York City. Her portfolio consists of filmmaking, journalism and education, blogging, and film critique. She co-wrote, directed, and produced 2 award-winning short films called A Sister of Signatures in 2019 and Black Girl versus Ambiguous in 2019. Her 3rd award-winning short was based on a poem she wrote during the 2020 pandemic and called Black Mama Saver. These films, now we have a double voice. I don't want to have a voice. And there's nothing to do about it. These films have premiered in over 30 film festivals. Her work and interviews have been featured in Newsweek, Chicago Times, Fox 32, ABC 7 Chicago, Soul 6 Radio, the Chicago Defender, Yard, WBZ, WBEZ, Chicago, Focal, WVON, Intellectual Radio, and now the Female Solution and the Higher Learning Network TV show. And now I can't see anybody. My computer just froze. Everything just froze. Lord, help me, please. Anything that could have gone wrong is definitely going wrong. But we give thanks that it is coming back as we speak. Lord. Oh, what a today. Or maybe I can use the point background to figure out what is going on. Oh, there she. So why won't I show up? Can you hear me, 7?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, but once again, I hear code. Okay, Echo. Okay, Echo. Okay, 7. You can hear me?
Yes.
Then why don't you go ahead and take the show? How about that?
Okay.
Did you hear my intro of you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and I sincerely apologize, but there's nothing I can do about technical issues here. But you are one phenomenal young lady, and I know we have met somewhere in the atmosphere of journalism. I studied broadcasting too, and I said she looks like Takora. You didn't know Takora. Takora was a fellow producer at Chicago Access Television, but you kind of resemble her just a little bit. But I know your face. So very well. Good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the Female Solution.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming on. I do apologize. I couldn't make the event last Thursday, but I said I'd love to have her on the show. It looks like I'm going to have you come back because I'm going to have to edit this for TV and they won't see all of this, but we see all of this on the internet. So I'm definitely going to have you come back. Whenever you are ready to come back, please do. But tell us. Oh, and I forgot to ask you. I don't want to pull it up on the screen because I do not want to have any more issues with anything. So I'm just going to tell people. And I'm telling you because I don't know or not. Erica Watson, your former publicist, is in the intro of our show, the Learning Network TV show. And before the show is over, hopefully I get it up so you can see. But anyway, you got to explain the name. How did it come about? Because when you said 7, the first thing I thought of Erica Badu, I think one of her children's name is 7.
Yeah, the name 7 came when I was in, actually wasn't when I was in New York. I had this dream and there was lights and a marquee and what happened was there was a bunch of men standing around me and I was dancing
and on the marquee it said Nitro, right? And so I was like, well, who's Nitro? Because I was thinking they were, referring to me. Well, when I woke up, I looked at the periodic chart, and the ion, or the ionic chart for or they have a periodic table, and the ionic chart for nitrogen is the number 7. And so that's kind of how the name came about. And I wanted to have that as a name. And so and also I was at this church, and so they started calling me 7 at that church, and that's kind of how it stuck. So,
really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fascinating story. Wow. Okay. You are just, as Dr. Maya Angelou would say, a phenomenal woman who has a phenomenal story. Now, how did you become a filmmaker?
I wanted to be in filmmaking since I was a little girl.
Really?
My mother, we used to watch movies all the time. We'd have matinees, and I think my mother gets that from, her parents. But we used to watch Siskel and Ebert at the movies. My mother and I, we watched that together. And my mother actually used to take us to the movies. And I remember one summer she took my brother and I and a bunch of some kids from the neighborhood, took us to the movies to see Indiana Jones, and it was Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that kind of dates me. Raiders of the Lost Ark and Rocky 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of is very into the arts and things like that. So that's kind of where I get that from, my love for movies and art and things like that. So I've always loved movies and art. So that's kind of where that origin comes from.
Did you study?
No, I never studied filmmaking. I took a couple of classes. I was in New York for a couple of years. I'm actually a social studies teacher. I teach in Chicago public schools. So, I'm a CPS teacher. I taught a couple of years in New York City. And, but no, I never went to school for
filmmaking.
I never went to school for filmmaking. I tried to get in NYU, so I'm an NYU reject, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's a lot of people's stories, a lot of famous people have been there, have not gotten into these schools, and they're still, have evolved. So sometimes, that happens in the industry. You have to find your own voice and find your own way and kind of go around the system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I had to do. All 3 of my films were funded. 2 of my films were self-funded. The second one was with a mentee of mine, Maya Hooks, and her mother actually helped her fund that film. But all 2 of my films were self-funded. And yeah, so hopefully in my next couple of films, I can get some grants and things, because that can be very expensive filmmaking, as you know.
Yeah,
you got to pay people, Yes,
and so,
you do. So the other thing right now is, we have, the actors and the writers are on strike. So right now, this is a great time to write, and get some thoughts done, because they might be, I think they're going to be striking for a while. I'm hearing it's going to be like maybe till September or October. That's what I've heard. I don't know. But they need to pay people their money, people have to be, people have to be paid, but not only they have to be respected. The big issue right now is about artificial intelligence and making the likeness of other people. And that kind of takes the creativity out of filmmaking. If you have a, it reminds me of, like, the Terminator. If you have a robot or machine doing the work, then it takes the humanity and the creativity out of the process. So that's a big issue right now with the studios. And I'm really there to support the my actors and writers of America. So.
Well, thank you for supporting the writers of America, because it appears to me that they are trying to, what they're doing with AI is to eliminate us.
That's right.
And we're the human component. How can you eliminate us? And they
Well,
want reality TV. They don't
right.
even want script TV.
Right. I just think it's one of those things where they're trying to cut costs and try to
Yeah.
cut the middleman out. So, you
Yeah.
know, find a cheaper, better way. But that's what happens when you have computer generated things, and
And
that's
I
just. I mean, that's just the. I think that's just the progression. And as a matter of fact, I wrote a piece years ago that I hadn't published, and it's about teachers that are robots in the future, and so we may see that come to pass. I hope that doesn't, because my students still like that engagement, but
of course,
it just looks like they keep pushing to do computer generated robotic in every aspect of career life, you know, medicine, even in surgeries now they're using
yes,
you know, computers for lasers and things like that. And so that's the big push now with computers and automation, but you still need humans to program them, and you know, you got to have some kind of humanistic touch. So you know, and as far as creativity is concerned, I think that when you are out of touch with the creativity process and understanding that we're all connected, then, you know, that's when the problem comes in. So
I know about a couple of months ago, there was a commercial, but the word that was said, you could tell it was robotic because they didn't enunciate it right. It was like, is this what television is coming to? I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to be a part of it. I don't know if I want to watch television and have a robot telling me. I don't like that. What are your thoughts? Or were you just but
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I mean, there is a thing about the connection that we have as artists, and as we have a responsibility to our public to not only be creative, but to tell the truth. And I think when you're using sometimes, if you're using computer generated things, then you're not being authentic, and it's not, now, I'm not saying that it's not real, but it's not as raw and it's not as authentic if you're using computers to do everything.
And you don't feel it.
Right.
That human component is missing. What would you say to the young lady or man watching? And they want to be like you. They want to do. Yeah, they want to do all the things that I just did. They want to be. They want to do. Some little girl always gonna watch. Yeah, I can do. What do you say?
I would say, why not?
Right.
Yes. I do have I have mentored youth when it comes to filmmaking. I have a couple of mentees, and like one of my mentees was Maya Hooks. She is a teen filmmaker. She's makes films, and I have in a couple of my films I've had, you know, I have teen stars, young girls, and what I would say is it's never too early to start. Start early, start as young as you can, and have dreams, have goals, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't. Um, when I was growing up, there was a lot of limitations. I didn't see a lot of us on the screen, Black and brown people on the screen. In my first film, I have Cinda Williams, and she is a great friend of mine, a great mentor. And Cinda, when she was making films, there was not a lot of African American women making films and starring in roles. So she was very fortunate to, be able to be on screen, and she's very talented. And she was one of the, I would say, pioneers of, Black women acting and being lead characters in films. She was in Spike Lee's Mo Better Blues.
Yeah.
She was in One False Move, and I think Caught Up was another one of her movies. But I would say that start young, start early. Don't ever let anybody tell you no. And I know a lot of times people, teachers sometimes can be either be encouraging or discouraging, and family members as well. So your family may not always support you. If you have a supportive family and friends, then you're lucky, but you may have to go it solo, let that drive, let that higher power drive you. A lot of prayer, meditation, find people that support you, find your tribe. Search for your tribe. If somebody's telling you no, you can't do it, go around it, or go through it. And I think early on, my parents were encouraging, but they still didn't understand. They didn't understand me, even though they were supportive. They didn't understand my process. So, but my parents were very supportive early on, but they still, I think there was something about the process that they didn't understand.
So what is that process that you didn't understand?
The fact that I hadn't fully evolved yet. It was still an ongoing process. And I know, like, sometimes when you do filmmaking, people think I'm going to be or not just filmmaking, entertainment. I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be a basketball star. Or I'm going to be this or that. Well, you're not going to be rich overnight. That's not what happens. If you love something, the money will come, or your gift will provide for you, but it's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it might take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But if you love what you do, it's going to come. And people will see it, your excitement, and it's contagious.
Yes.
So just don't give up. I'm still evolving. And it's a long journey, but you have to take one day at a time and enjoy the process, because you just don't know where your path is going to lead you. I do many things. I'm a journalist. I wrote for for Chicago Defender for a year. I've been blogging. I do filmmaking, and I'm a poet now. And so I do a lot of different things. And I think that that's a part of being an artist, is that you can do many things now. And there's really nobody saying, no, you can't. And when I was growing up, there was more filters on what an artist could do and what they couldn't do. So, if you weren't in certain circles, there was things you couldn't do. Now, if you're independent artist, you can do whatever you want. And then, you may get noticed on YouTube or word of mouth, or be at the right place at the right time. And it can just happen just like that, And so I think the youth today are very fortunate because they have a lot more opportunities.
Yes.
And again, I probably, when I told you the movies, that probably dated me a little bit.
That's so cool. It's a good thing to be kind of you, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, because it's funny because people are now calling me ma'am. There was
I know, right?
a young man. He was parking my car, and he says, "Ma'am, I need your keys. Come on, I gotta park your car." And I said, "Okay." And then he kept saying, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, now it's
Ma'am,
ma'am." It's been ma'am for a couple of years, but it's okay.
we have
uh,
been so conditioned to think as ma'am as, we're old. It's a sign of respect.
I understand that. It is true.
I would do the same thing. I completely understand it. But that's all part of being alive. So, we live and we learn and we move on. But I want to talk to what you said about family, because family will stop you dead in your tracks if you allow them to. I remember coming up as a child, we would always write things. And I've been at a family barbecue with, I always had a pencil in my head and a notebook. And my sisters always look at me like, there she go again, writing stuff down. Really? That's what I do. So family, you gotta be careful with family. They mean well, but they can dampen your spirit.
Well, it's funny that you say that. My parents, I remember one year I stood up and I was staying up late, and I wrote a whole book. It's not been published yet, so we'll see what happens. But that was about 10 years ago. And my father kept saying, "Why are you up so late? Why are you, because I was living with them. Why are you up so late? Why are you writing so you got to go to bed." And I was like, and and so they couldn't see the process. My parents are I was going to say radio wavers, right? So they couldn't see the process. Even though they wanted to support me, they didn't know how, because it wasn't solid yet. It wasn't a solid form. It was still out there as energy and vision. It wasn't a solid thing. So they couldn't see it. So now my mother has seen the book. She knows what I'm doing. I would say the past 4 years, they're like, "Oh, I see it now. I want to support you." But that's really not, even though I love my parents, my father, all my friends and everything, don't wait to support somebody when it's done. Support them in the process, and you will find that they will be very thankful that you followed them on that journey. And I don't blame anybody for that, but I just wish that they understood the process, and along the whole way. Because I think in the beginning I was very discouraged. It took me a long time to get to the point where I had a certain confidence, and I think that comes from maybe generational, or because I'm a Gen X, so we were kind of forced to be independent, but it's a lot of Gen Xers are, own their own business. They do several things, and I just would tell people that are trying to make it in the entertainment industry, or write, or whatever you want, just don't give up, and enjoy the process. It's yeah, it's a journey, but this year has been really amazing. This year I went to my first Emmys, Chicago Midwest Emmys, with a friend. So that was a turning point for me. I wrote my first book. I got a teaching job at CPS. This year I'll be teaching AP African American Studies, hopefully, and maybe Black cinema as well. So I'm hoping that those things will, be very enriching to my students. So I'm most likely going to be doing a book tour, or some kind of tour with my book. And I just thought about it. I don't have a book in front of me right now. I do have some poems that I would like to read, but um, so I'm going to read. Let me see.
And the name of the book?
Oh, the name of the book is The Chocolate Houses We Build.
The Chocolate Houses We Build. How did you come up with that name, girl?
So when I was growing up, we lived in the suburbs of northwest suburbs of Chicago, and my family and another family, we were the only Black families in that suburb. And so we had to kind of navigate being an African American girl and also living in a white suburb. So it has a lot to do with my childhood growing up. And I think my mother, she wanted us to see both, and what W.E.B. Du Bois calls a double consciousness. You live in the white world, you live in the Black world, and she wanted us to experience both of those things and be multifaceted when it comes to knowledge and learning and culture. So I'm really appreciative of that, because that kind of helped when I was teaching, and I was in New York for a time, and so that helped a lot. So the chocolate houses we built, it can mean a whole bunch of things. I wanted to address structurally, like spiritually, physically, emotionally, the houses that we build for ourselves. And chocolate comes in many different colors, as you know. So I chose chocolate because there's a rainbow of flavors, colors for chocolate, and I thought that would be a good symbol for the book.
I like because I was trying to figure out it. I'm like, okay, what is this? The chocolate houses. Okay, so proceed. Thank you.
So I'm gonna pick a poem, because when I was growing up, hair was a big issue. I've had Jerry curl, I've had Afro puffs, I've had straight hair, I've had braids, I've had I think this year was the first year that I did weave. I've never done weave before. This is the first year I did weave.
Wow.
Yeah, I never had weave before. I've always been afraid that, like when they took it out, it was gonna, pull a plug out. So this was the first year. I'm first year weave. But yeah, I've done weave, Afro puff, braids. I've done straightening comb. I've done perm. I've done, pretty much the gambit. So this is the poem that I'm gonna read is my experience with the hot comb and my mother straightening my hair. So I'm gonna read it. Okay, here it goes. Okay, it's called Sizzling Fry Hair, Sizzle Curly Girl Pop. My hair braided and plaited, parted and greased, hot comb on stove, is glaring with heat, sizzling greetings. I sit in the ready chair for straightening, back of my neck perplexed, lean over, ready for hot teeth. Mama puts her hand on my shoulder. Be still. I freeze. She takes a piece of hair and goes to root, and then pulls sizzle straight. Sizzle fry hair. Not fair. Heat, burn, coming right up. I jump. All the hairs must be straight. I bite my lip, grit teeth, grab chair. Think of anywhere but here. Clench my fists. Think of a place with sugar bears, ribbons, and rainbows. A cool water beach to take the pain away from the process from sizzle fry hair. About an hour or so goes by. I'm numb. I still suck my thumb. Fixed in a state, I come out of it to hear sizzle, pop. I flinch when too hot. It won't stop. Fried ever so slightly, fresh burn, fried and laid to the side. When it's over, I lick my wounds, rub the scabs or soreness. It was worth the pain. Now I'm nappy no more. I'm bone straight like a white vanilla girl. Happy and not nappy. Like her, I think. I blink. I wink. I think hard. Madam C.J. Walker would be proud of my straightened curls, of what she worked so hard to maintain on her domain. As a first black female millionaire woman, she don't judge. She don't budge on her stance. I'm taught that nappy is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Tremendous. Sizzle, fry hair, stir fry, steam, bake, broil. No lie, no lie. Kick your hair. Goodbye for now. No more nappy time right now. For now. Until my hair gets wet. Until I decide to coil up again or curl up again.
All right. We don't clap. We
just snap, snap, snap.
I haven't been to a therapy set in a minute, so I don't know what they're doing now. But I do remember that because I remember after the little sister thing, I was like, everybody turn around and look at me like,
why is it so loud?
Why is it so loud? Let's do this. Sizzle for you. Girl, it took me back. My mom was a beautician. And she told me they made perm for my hair. And you said, I remember on the back of my neck, burnt ears. Oh, Lord have mercy. Thank you for sharing that experience, because we are not alone.
Well, I remember I used to fall asleep. I'd be like, and then because I would fall asleep, and then I'd feel the heat, and then you
wake up.
Because as a little girl, you're 5, 6, but she would get up early. She would get up at like 6 o'clock to straighten the hair, because it would either be before school or before Sunday school or something. So she would get up early, and it would be like the crack of dawn. And I'm like, why is she getting up so early? She would do it early, either really early or like in the evening. So it was like, whenever she could find the time to do it. But I just sometimes remember it being dark, sometimes it being light in the afternoon. So it was, but I just remember just sitting there like, and then just waking up like, hearing that hiss.
Wow. Yeah.
And she'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then back to the comb again.
Well, now that we know better, we can do something different, because they have all kinds of techniques for making hair bone straight with the what do you call it? The hot comb. They don't use hot combs anymore.
Right. It's mostly curling iron or flat iron,
Yeah, flat iron. That's what I'm looking for. I was like, why y'all didn't have it available when my hair was being curled?
But they still have a little hot comb that my my hairdresser uses, but it's small. It's just like for edges and things like that. And when she brought it out, I was like, what's that? I was like, I had flashbacks. I was triggered.
Yeah, that's definitely a trigger. And for those who don't know what a trigger is, what do you mean by trigger? Explain that.
A trigger is something that makes you kind of remember a moment, and it may not always be good, and it takes you back to a moment of maybe pain or suffering or something, a traumatic event. Mm-hmm. So for me, the sizzle pop was traumatic, but it was a good memory as well. It was kind of good and bad, because I have memories of my mother and I in the kitchen, and I think it was done out of love, but at the same time, it was still traumatic.
Right.
So it was a double thing. Like, okay, I'm doing this because I love you, but it's still painful. So, and that was just something that you did. You straightened your hair, and but once you jumped into that pool, the kinks came back. So every time I went swimming, I had to go back, and she had to go back and do the comb again. So,
girl, Black women is swimming.
Well, not everybody knows how to swim, so that's the other thing.
That's a whole.
Yeah. So we were fortunate that we were taught how to swim, but you get your hair caught in the rain, then you got to go back to the hot comb again.
It's a done deal.
Yep, kinked up, napped up.
And it's funny. The hair is being expressed as natural, but everybody's trying to get the natural hair. Especially don't look like it.
Well, you know what? Now, all of my students, they have the natural hair. I've worn my hair natural before, but back then it was not really accepted. Well, because I was at kind of an 80s baby, early 80s baby, and you didn't really wear the afro, especially if
No.
I mean, maybe at home, or if you were a little girl, maybe you'd have the afro puffs, but you didn't have just a full afro. That was more in the 70s.
Yeah.
But not in the 80s. You didn't really had they had so a lot of cornrows, jerry curls.
Yeah. There's a done deal.
I don't bring the jerry curl back. No.
Please don't. I never had it. My sister had it. And when I saw it on her, I was like, I can't do that.
That's one thing that can stay gone.
Yeah, they can keep that. I couldn't do that. For those who like, whatever floats your boat, that's fine with me. It's just not with me.
But your hair. Oh, go ahead. No, I was gonna say your hair is phenomenal, by the way.
Oh wow! Thank you. It doesn't do that way. Because we want it to look a certain way, and it doesn't stop. Okay, it's gonna stop on the side thing. The fact that you said that, thank you for that, because I wasn't thinking it at all.
But you got it. Like they say, you gotta let it do what it do.
Yeah. That's what it's teaching me. I'm learning the hard way, but I'm learning. I'm a little slow sometimes. I got to bear with. And you were as phenomenal as well, sister, in all of your hairstyle and glory. You are what Dr. Maya Angelou refers to as the phenomenal woman. And it is an honor to share this conversation with you today.
Thank you.
And thank you for being the spirit that you are, for leading the way for future generations. Because without scholars like you, where would we be? What age did you start journaling that caused you to go in the direction of journalism? Because we have a lot of teens.
What age did I start writing? I believe I had a diary when I was in the second grade.
A diary?
Yeah. First and second grade. And actually, you know what? I have my diary from, and my one of my friends, she says, you should open that diary. I have a diary. It has a lock on it. I'm gonna have to break it. But I still have it. I didn't open it yet, so I'm gonna open it this year. I gotta figure out where I put it, but I still have it. I gotta open it. It's from first and second grade, and I still remember my first crush. But I gotta open it. Yeah, it's about maybe this big, but it's so tiny. But yeah, my first diary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not many people that I know still do diary, still journal. And that's one of the things that will help you recognize and release triggers. Journaling. How was that for you?
Um,
And why?
Well, there's different types of journaling. Poetry has been very healing and cathartic for me. My father passed away last year in August, and then in 2018, I had some relatives pass away, and so that's when I started doing the poetry in 2018. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna start writing poetry, and then they just kept coming and coming and coming. Because right now, in the book, I believe it's about, I think I have like maybe 160 poems or something like that, or 150. I don't know the count, but um, that's only a portion of the poems that I have. Um, and this is my book is part of a trilogy, so I'll be going to be releasing three volumes or three books.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a trilogy.
yeah. So there'll at least be three, because I had so many poems. Like I was asking Erica, like I said, Erica was the original publicist for the book. It was supposed to be published in 2021 when she passed, and she was in Jamaica at the time, and she was saying,
Yes.
Come to Jamaica. I'm having such a great time." She was trying to get me to come to Jamaica, and she was saying, well, she wanted to have me put it out during Valentine's Day, because she was saying, "Oh, the chocolate house we built, that would be great during Valentine's Day," but it just didn't happen. And then, things got in the way, and I pushed it out, and my father, I had stopped for writing for a time, and my father said, "Don't give up. You should continue writing." And I didn't want to wait another year to put the poetry book out, because life is so short, and sometimes we don't have the time that we think. So I said, well, I have the money to do it. I'll just self publish. And so I decided to put the book out, and it's it's only been a week, and it's been amazing. Like I had a launch party, and I did a photo with Pomone and Masekwa Myers. Pomone, Rami, yeah. So they did. It was called the Gathering of Black Chicago Author or Chicago Black Authors, and it's going to be put, I believe, in the Bronzeville Historical Society or in the library. Yeah, so I was a part of that. So my publisher, my editor, she was able to get me the book the Wednesday before the photo took place. I got to be in the photo. I got to be in the photo. So, Pomone was like, as long as you have your book in your hand, you can take the photo. So I was there. I had the photo with some amazing people. Eve Ewing, who is a comic book writer for Black Panther. She's also a poet as well. Her book was Electric Arches. And who else was there? Avery Young, the Chicago poet laureate for Chicago Poet Laureate. Avery Young was there. Also, Nora Blakely Brooks, daughter of Gwendolyn Brooks, she was there.
Oh, wow.
Also, Angela Jackson was there, Illinois poet. So it was a lot of legendary people in that photo. So I was proud to be a part of that photo. That's going to be posted eventually. So I was very fortunate to be a part of that group. And I'm very proud to be an author of a poetry book. I had originally wanted to do a youth novel, but I thought it would have been easier for me to do a poetry book, kind of chronicling some of events that's had taken place in my life. I think it was just easier for me to do that. So,
Oh, I just had a disconnected. I was trying to connect our studio back, but I don't think it happened. Anything like that. I want to look the promo for in the show in which Erica is on. So people will talk to Erica like this Chirac. So I want to.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Oh, you know what? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Erica. What was her nickname? Sugar Pie? Sweet? She had something.
Oh, Sugar Pie. Yeah. She was Sugar Pie in the her scene in Chirac, because I do remember it. Her scene was they were sitting around talking about what was going on in the community, I think. And in the scene, she was with a friend of mine, I think Thea Camara. It was Erica Watson, and I believe Angela Bassett was there. It was like the mothers. It was like the mothers of the community. They were sitting around talking, and I believe she was in that group. So, yeah, I'm thinking that she was in Chirac with that women's group that was talking about what was going on in the community, and I think the main character they were talking about.
Excuse me. It is 8:31. It's time for our last very commercial break, and we will right back. So give us some here. Is my connected here? Everything that can go wrong this morning is going just that.
Well, that's entertainment.
That is entered. Let's see if this one is. We'll see. And we'll talk about talent. About that.
Attention all talented teens ages 13 to 19. Are you ready to show the world what you've got? We're excited to announce the latest global virtual teen talent contest, where you win cash prizes and scholarships by performing your unique talent. Here's how to participate. 1. Record a 1-minute video of yourself performing your talent. 2. Upload the video.
Oh, I can't hear you. Your lips are moving, but I can't hear. Can you hear me?
Contest which airs every last Saturday of the month. Go to our YouTube channel and see it. How about that? YouTube.com, Higher Learning TV Show. Want to give a shout out to all those who are on the switchboard, and I'll put the call in a minute, but I want to say congratulations to Danny And Valerie Surton Cox had the 35th wedding anniversary this past Saturday. And I went, and this is the bulletin, the program. 35 years married to one person. Lord, you got that's love. And they really fed us, wonderful time. We played music and all that good stuff. And it was just wonderful. What can I say? So thank you, Val, for allowing us to be a part of that. And then when we went and played this all night, I love it. Thank you so much. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. We're going to the phone lines. If you got questions for our guest, let us know who your name, who you are, and where you're calling from. 312-833. What's your name? Where you calling from? Unmute yourself. 312-833. 733-366. Your mic is open. Unmute yourself. Okay. I'm going to close their microphone, and we will continue our conversation here on the Female Solution with our very own author, filmmaker, educator, phenomenal woman, and electrified Mr. Okema 7. It was such a delight to be like you when I grew up. You're doing all the things that I want to do. So you're my hero. So thank you for doing the work that you've done. If nobody's told you lately, we appreciate you. So what do you say in our last 20 minutes or so together? Those who want to be an author, who want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a filmmaker. I did a movie documentary for the homeless in which we take them food and water every week. And I did a little mini documentary that's on our YouTube channel. But I want to do a full film, and I'm working on a radio documentary. So what tips do you have for those thinking of moving in that direction in the filming community to be a filmmaker, who have not taken film classes at NYU or whatever, Orange for that?
Okay. So I would say if you can take film classes, YouTube is also your friend.
Yeah.
If you're a quick learner, quick study, you can use YouTube. I have taken classes, but they can be kind of expensive, costly. You don't have to go to university or college, but I do recommend, if you can, to do it, because then you'll have mentors and you'll have resources.
Yes.
But the community does have a lot of resources. Chicago, and specifically, has a lot of rich resources and a lot of events going on. So there's a very close-knit community in Chicago. You just have to find them and find your tribe and find where you fit in. As an author or a filmmaker, my advice would be, if you write down your goals. I think that a lot of times people say, well, I want to do this or I want to do that. It starts with planning. My poetry book was all written down on paper. The whole thing was written down on paper, 150, all 200 poems. They were all handwritten first. I start with the pen and the paper. That's where I start. So visually for me, if I see it on pen and paper, or if I write it on a sticky note, it's going to come to fruition. Have goals, write it down, meet those goals, have deadlines, have hard, have expectations. It's not just floating around in the air. It's okay to have a dream, but you have to act on this dream. It's a dream, but it's got to be executed. And you have to be consistent, keep at it. You can't give up. It took me 5 years to to do my poetry book. With my short films, it told, some of them, even though the idea has been rolling around in my head, it took like maybe 6 months or 8 months or whatever, but you got to write it down. I have sticky notes. I have journals. I have like 10 to 15 journals full of scribblings, writings, whatever. And don't self-edit as you're going. When you write, just write. Don't edit. You can edit later. I think a lot of people get frustrated because they think, well, this is not a masterpiece the first time out. You're not going to write a Pulitzer Prize winning poem the first time out. That's not how it works. So, just write. Just do it. You got to practice. And there's somebody, I don't know who said it. It's something about 10,000 hours. And that's probably more than that. To be good at something, you have to have practice. Most people that I know, they're not, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a long time. You may have to do things you might not want to do, stay up late nights. You may have to work an extra job, or I don't know. Some people have been homeless to, pursue their dream. I mean, you don't know what you're going to have to do, but what are you willing to do to get there? Yes. You need to open yourself up and try to, just be determined. Don't give up. That's my advice. Just don't give up. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young, how much money you have. You can have nothing and still, make it. It's not about money.
Right.
It's about your gift. Your gift, you'll be homeless. Your gift and your talent will provide for you.
Say that you hit the nail button, because you, especially if you're homeless, because what was that guy's name? I can't remember his name. He was homeless and kept a journal, and he could do some kind of book or booklet or something. He was all over. I don't even know what it was, but it's just imperative that you write a journal. And see, they don't allow you to do that on the phone or computer. And you're missing a very crucial part of the connection between the brain and the neurons and fire you're writing. But see, you won't know that because AI is taking that away.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial intelligence is taking away your divine intelligence. And we've got to circumvent that. We've got to balance it out, I should say. Do a little bit writing, a little bit of computer. Because you lose that connection. You'll be so absorbed into this AI, you will forget who you are. And you want everything right here, right now. And that's not possible. That's not how it's evolved up to it.
Right. Well, I think that's another thing is that, teens right now, like I do have a TikTok. I just recently got TikTok. And the kids were telling me, Miss Gunn, you got to get TikTok. Because I teach, I didn't want to be on TikTok. I didn't want my kids seeing me doing weird things or whatever. So I just now got on TikTok, and now I just, I'm making sure that I put things on there because my students have found me. They were like, you're on Instagram. They were like, you're famous. And I was like, well, okay. They said, Miss Gunn, you're a filmmaker. Can I be in your movies? And I never brought any of that up to them. They will search you. They will find you. They tracked me down. They said, Okema 7 Gunn, is that you? And I said, yeah, it is. They said, you've been on television. You're a filmmaker. You're a famous filmmaker. And I said, yeah,
So modest.
So that was funny. And they were just shocked. Like, wow, I didn't even know that. My 7th graders did that. My high school, They tracked me down. Miss Gunn, can I be in your movie? Can I? How did you do it? What, can we see your movie? So because I was, so busy teaching, I didn't really focus on that. I didn't want, them to focus on. But I did talk a little bit about that and how I wrote for the Defender for a year. But I just wanted them to know that, you can do more than one thing. You can be a teacher and a filmmaker. You can be a producer and be a poet. You can be, you don't have to just do one thing. And that, because my students didn't see me as a real person. They was like, oh, you're just our teacher. And then when you go home, it's like, you know, I don't know what you do, but then you come back again. Because they don't think that teachers have lives. So they were like, oh my God, you have a life outside of teaching? You're a filmmaker? Oh my God.
Children.
Yeah. And they're so funny.
Children are different. They are different. They're definitely different. It is 8:43. We've got some calls, and I hope they can open their mic because we're going to go to the phone lines now. If you want to call in, 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And we're going to the phone lines, 312-833. Your mic is open. You're live. Hi, who's this? We're talking to author, filmer, educator, Okema, 7 Gunn. Are you afraid to speak? Unmute yourself. Someone speak, but for some reason or another, they're not speaking. Oh, yeah, we hear you now. We hear you. Do you have a little mic clinic? Because we got feedback. Okay, you go right ahead. Go ahead. 312-833. Your mic is open. Go ahead. Yes, I hear you. Go right ahead. Okay, hung up. I guess he couldn't hear me. I could hear him, but he couldn't hear me. So call back 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. We've got another 10 minutes. There he is. 312-833. Your mic is open. Good morning, Grand Rising.
How much is it perhaps a documentary? I know that's the truth of a movie, and I was thinking about doing a documentary on that and 60-30 young. We don't have to stay at 60-30 from 5 to 8 p.m. So, do you think we could just do it with a regular housing room or cement, or they could go down with the original camera?
Okay. Did you hear that?
I heard a little bit about. He was asking about a documentary, but I wasn't really sure.
Who wants to know? What?
So
now you keep opening your mouth, and it's causing feedback. Okay. Yeah, he's asking for documentary could be. Where is feedback coming from? Okay, now you have to close the mic, because otherwise we call this feedback. Where's my mic? Okay, I gotta open my mic. Okay, there you go. Still got feedback. He wants to know what's the cost of doing a documentary, and should he do it with cell phone or a regular camera?
Okay. So I haven't done any documentaries yet. I'm working on a documentary about my father.
What's your father's name?
My father's name is Lawrence Owen Gunn. He passed away. Yeah, he passed away in August. and so I'm working on a documentary about him. So the difference, okay, so there's a difference between a a narrative, which is a narrative feature, and a documentary. So I mean, narratives can be shorts or can features. It just depends on the length. But a documentary, you're going to shoot different, and the way that you set it up is going to be a little bit different. They're both going to need. They both have a plan. They need. You need. You know, you may have storyboarding, or you may have a layout of a script, because everything starts with a script. Yeah, like you said, you have to have that plan, and you have a budget. Even with a documentary, you need to have a budget. With a narrative, you have to have a budget as well. It's just different styles of filmmaking. Um, so the first thing you do is you start with a budget, and you may go over budget, you may go under budget. With a documentary, find out, you know, what you can get for free or what you can have people donate. Do you have a non-for-profit? Do you have a you know, do you have an LLC, sole proprietorship? Those things are going to all come into consideration, because even right now I'm trying to apply for grants. That's going to depend on how much money you spend. Maybe you make the movie first and you get the grants later. You need to figure out who's going to help you. You know, do you have a grant writer, friend, you know, that can help you? But a documentary always starts with a script. You know, what do you have on hand? Do you have a camera already? What camera are you going to use? I can't tell you what camera to use, because it depends on what style that you want to, what you want your film to look like. You can do it on a cell phone. You can do it on a you know, Panasonic. So it doesn't matter, just as long as you know what you want it to look like. It may take your documentary take 6 months to make. It may take 5-10 years to make. There's no limit. I mean, if you have a grant, obviously you're going to have a time limit, but there's all kinds of topics that you could, you know, use, and resources, but you just have to be specific about who do you want in your film? What do you want in your film? Do you want animation? Do you want, you know, what lighting do you want? Do you want, how many cameras do you want? Do you want one camera? Do you want a multicam? Sound is very important, because if you can't hear your subjects, that's going to be a problem. And you don't want to be able to say, I'll fix it later. That's not going to happen, because you're going to have to reshoot it. And that's a whole nother issue. And that can happen with documentary or narrative. Trust me, you don't want to do that. So the sound and the lighting you're going to want. You may be able to shoot something over, but the sound and the lighting, you got to, you know, try to get that the first time. And then with documentaries, you know, you may have your subject, let them know, you know, what you're going to do ahead of time. Don't rehearse it, but, you know, with a documentary, let the person know, you know, what you're doing, and, you know, try to decide what tone do you want for the room. You know, is it going to be warm? Is it going to be cold? Are you going to be on the street? Are you going to be in an apartment? Are you going to be in a closed space, open space? Is it going to be a lot of noise? Is it going to be a charged environment? You know, like they talk about that warm and cool tone, lighting. I mean, there's so many things that go in a documentary. It just depends on what you want to do. And the planning is key. So you can take a course, you can watch YouTube, find people that are experts at documentary filmmaking. Don't do it by yourself. Have help, because that's going to show the type of professional experience. It's going to show when you do your documentary. If you're doing it by yourself, that's fine. But it's what I want to tell you is that it's okay to do it by yourself and to practice, but you need help. And if you want your film to look a certain way and be professional, you're going to need help, because nobody comes out the gate like, being a Spielberg or
Right.
or Denzel Washington director. It just doesn't happen like that. You have to have experience and find people that are going to help you. That's my number one advice. Get help, and get help from people that are experts in their field or that have years of experience. Find a mentor.
Mentor, yeah.
Several.
Yes,
several mentors.
Mm.
Because I have mentors as well. So I have mentees, I have mentors, I have
some of your mentors.
Some of my mentors are Chicago people, like Pomone and Massaquoi are my mentors. Those are Chicago people. I have mentors that I've never met before, actors and directors, just pieces like like you said, Maya Angelou is a poet. Gwendolyn Brooks. Those are poets that poetry books that I've looked at. Amanda Gorman just did the Hills We Climb, and she's a young poet, but that doesn't mean can't be a mentor.
Right.
So as far as your community can be, anybody in your community can be a mentor. They don't have to be celebrities or so I have a lot of mentors. The list is endless. If I see somebody that's successful and they're expert in their field, that can be a mentor. So I have several mentors. So that's kind of like, I don't know, vague. Because there's so many. I would say my community are people that are experts in it. Those are my mentors. A lot of elders and people that have uplifted me over along the way. So,
well, I think you did an excellent job in that, especially mentors, because there's lots of mentors in the community. There's another. Amadou Zan, who was once editor for the Higher Learning for a TV show, and he's working with an organization that's been producing films for 50 years. What? Oh, 52nd year, right in Chicago.
And actually, I've worked with Amadillo. He, Amadillo has been very helpful in my evolution as a filmmaker. He actually shot Black Mama Sable for me, which was one of the poems in my poetry book. So I have worked with Amadillo. He has been a great support to me. I've learned a lot from him as far as filmmaking, and I was in a cohort with him about three years ago, and he was very instrumental in making that piece successful. But he was a cinematographer for that piece.
Yes. He's awesome. He's the one who did the documentary on the homeless that's on our YouTube page. Higher Learning TV show, and I'll put some of that information on my blog. I always remember to say all the things will be on my blog on zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. But in the meantime, in between time, you can text Monday Morning Mindfulness to 312-383-9749. And you can post for comments as well. I'm going to edit this for the show on Channel 19, so a lot of this garbage won't be in there. And I'm going to read it off of social media until I read it. You deserve much better than that. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your wisdom, your understanding, and the message that you would like to leave our viewing audience and listening audience as well.
The message that I would like to leave the audience is never give up on your dreams, no matter how young, old, no matter the circumstances in your life. if people have passed away and they have gone into, they have transitioned, know that they are always with you. Don't ever let anybody discourage you from your dreams, your goals. Have a plan, have a tribe, have mentors. Be in the community and let your tribe help you. That's one thing I had to learn. Let your tribe help you. They will be there for your support. And if you have a gift, let that gift drive you. Don't just seek out money. Let your gift drive you, and it will not fail you.
If you do the work, everything else will follow. Words of wisdom, a woman, author, film. No, woman. That would be 7. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okema, 7. It's been a pleasing pleasure. It's a privilege. A bartender from Ms. Brown. Thank you so much, Vieta Robinson. My sister from another Mr. Has a topic this morning. Thank you, Queens, enlightening conversation. Thank you so much, sister. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and we will see you on the other side. And we will definitely send the link to the new, improved, edited version of this show as we close, showing a very your dedication to Erica Watson.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Yo, what's up? It's your man, Tony